So I'm Matt, I'm here at the NAB show 2012 with iZotope, and I'm going to give you a brand new demo of Iris, which we released today. So a brief background behind the story of Iris is that a lot of people using RX2, it's an RX2 Advanced, we found were using it for sound design. They were making interesting spectral selections with all the brush tools and the Photoshop style selection tools, and then they were then using that in a sampler and making some really interesting textures. And we thought, and people suggested to us, well, why not make this a synth? So that's exactly what we've done. So I'm going to start first by loading up the preset just to save time. So Iris comes with over 500 presets and 4 gigabytes of sample content, and there's also expansion packs that we're currently selling. So when you first open Iris and load up a sound, just like in RX2, you can switch between the waveform and the spectrogram view. And what Iris does, whenever you load a sample, it automatically assigns a root note. It detects the pitch of the sample and it will assign a root note. It will map it across the keyboard for you. So you'll see here we have our keyboard mapping controls and we have our root note controls. And this is the original sample I've just opened. It's just a sample of some bells, some wind chimes in the wind in a field. So just like in RX, we have the spectrogram, and we can use these tools that we're used to seeing, like the brush tool, or the Magic Wand tool, which automatically selects harmonics, or we could maybe draw some more interesting shapes in the spectrogram, and we could also, if we don't like it, erase stuff, and however we wish. So this is a preset shape that I drew earlier. So now if I play this back on the keyboard, as I'm going to, this is the sound of the bells as they are now. So that's already really interesting and really cool, because we've taken a very simple sound of the bells and we've selected only certain areas of harmonics using the selection tools, and we've mapped it across the keyboard. So it's already sounding really interesting. But where Iris gets really powerful is that right here you see the synth panel. I can now apply synthesis parameters to just the selection. So the controls that you're used to having in any synth you can now use in Iris. So you have an LFO, you have master or send effects, you have amp envelopes, and you can apply this to just the selection. So now I've turned some of that DSP on. Let's see if we get probably some crazier sounds. And again, that's all just from those bells. So it sounds pretty cool. And we actually have a couple more things. So in most samplers, the usual behavior that you would expect to see if you just sample something and play it back higher up or lower down, the speed of the sample would change. So up here we have 2 different ways that you can have the pitch set. 3 if you include fixed. We actually have radius RT in the top right hand corner, which is a real-time algorithm developed from our time and pitch stretching technology that we have and that we license. So if you select that, it actually preserves the time constant across your entire keyboard range. So you can play back samples and the speed never changes, but the pitch is all over. You can also load up to 3 samples at once and layer them and morph them together and kind of crossfade and get some crazy textures. And you can look at all of them at once. Well, you know what? I should, yeah. You can load up all of them at once and edit them one at a time. And then we also have the mix view, where you can look at all the parameters for the synthesizer, as well as the master channel, where we have a filter and a global LFO and envelope. And so with all that in mind, we can take any type of sound and just find music in it, find interesting textures. So I can show you really quickly. We do have very conventional sample synthesizers like this. And then we also have some very interesting pads, different sounds. And then we have some very crazy sounds. That was a bit too distorted. I think I'll try. And see, we have hundreds of presets and samples from all kinds of different sources. So again, this is Iris.
originally sounded like this.
So that's Iris in a nutshell. We have introductory pricing through the 1st of May. It's $149, and for that you get Iris and the patches and the content. We also have Iris Plus 2, which is Iris and the 2 expansion packs. We have Sounds and Glass, which is glass smashing and glass blowing and melting, and we threw that into Iris and made all kinds of interesting textures. And we have Sounds of Wood too. So that's iZotope Iris, brand new today.